Hey there, and welcome to the Dave Does channel. I am Dave Does, and you're watching Dave Does Reacts. Today's video is Volbeat and By a Monster's Hand, a band that I have checked out a few times before. I've always really liked what Volbeat does. He's got such a distinctive vocal style, great riffs. Weirdly though, never really bought an album or anything of theirs or listened to an album outside of reactions, but I've always really enjoyed the videos, the reaction. I think it's one of those bands that I'm like, I don't want to listen too much of their music because I like it when I get to do reactions to them because they're always fun to do. So I want to save the videos from Volbeat for reaction videos, if that makes sense. And then I'll obviously listen to those songs once I've done that. But yeah, we're going to check this one out today. The way I'll be doing is I won't be pausing the video or talking during the video. I'll talk about it all at the end and just watch the video from start to finish with you, the viewer. Main thing to remember though, whatever I say in this video, I'll always be respectful to the artist and the song. Even if I like it or dislike it, I'll give you my reasons why. But it doesn't really matter what I say as long as you like your music. Remember, don't feel peer pressure to hate a band. Like people go, oh, Nickelback, they're rubbish. If you like Nickelback, I like Nickelback, it's fine. It really doesn't matter. Music's all about your own personal choices. But if you are interested in why I do what I do, I've been a musician for the last 30 odd years, playing in different bands, currently playing in Telescribe and Nothing Gains. I've done various albums, been a songwriter on those albums along with the other guys in the bands, but we all write our own songs and bring them to the band. I'm also the drummer in those bands, so I feel like I've got something to add. Plus I do the ADK rock and metal channel. So please do check out all of those different things I've talked about. Telescribe, Nothing Gained, ADK Rock and Metal. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, etc. Lots to cover there, but that gives me a kind of a slight insight. But let's do Volbeat and By a Monster's Hand. Let's play it from start to finish. We'll talk about it at the end. Okay, there we go, Volbeat and By a Monster's Hand. Great video, thoroughly enjoyable, great track as well. I mean, yes, you can talk about, when people talk about Volbeat, they kind of have a reference to things like Metallica in there, and you can definitely hear it, that kind of classic down-picking rhythm, and they're solid as hell. I think every track has always got this kind of, everything I've heard of Volbeat's got this chugging rhythm in there, and it works brilliantly. They're a groove metal band in those elements. I love the up-tempo section here where it went a bit more hectic. The storytelling element mixed in with the live performance works really well. I love his vocals because in metal tend to be, everyone kind of goes aggressive or gruff, and he's singing in this higher register, and it's a kind of rock vocal with a bit of almost pop elements in there, which I think just works really well for Volbeat. I loved the character in the music video. Kind of reminded me of a Jeffrey Dahmer crossed with an Ed Gein. It's like they kind of really thought about how they wanted to get this guy next door serial killer kind of vibe, and they kind of pulled all the little different traits together. And again, the character was played brilliantly, and I love the kind of flicking between sort of the being normal and the kind of using the red lighting for the murderish kind of scenes in there without being overly grotesque or graphic, just kind of getting that point across. So yeah, it worked really, really well, but just an easily accessible, catchy track, solid rhythm in there. It's funny I talk about Nickelback at the beginning, because you could say some of that kind of, just if you talk about the instrumental point, taking the vocals out of there is a lot of like the Nickelback kind of vibe going on in here with the riffs. But people probably wouldn't say that about Volbeat because they didn't do a song called Photograph, which Nickelback gets slated for all the time. But again, good track from them. Yeah, it does make me want to go and get the albums from Volbeat, because this is the sort of stuff instantaneously. It is my sort of music. I love a groove to it. I love instantly accessible tracks. It's got no offensiveness in the sense of, to my ears as anyway, it's like some guttural growl or scream or something like Lorna Shore, which is never going to be my cup of tea. But I understand why some people might be really into that band. But for me, just couldn't get through a whole track of Lorna Shore, in all honesty, because it's just not for me. I don't listen to like pig squeals and snorts and snarling. It's just not my sort of thing of for music. But everyone's got their own tastes. But Volbeat was very, very cool. I need to get like an itinerary of what I need to check out. Obviously, I've done a few Volbeat ones, but I need to know where I should really start. Because when you get to a band like Volbeat and you've got a catalogue history, you've got to try and work through it. It's always almost a little bit overwhelming to kind of go, well, where do I start in their catalogue? Do I start with their first ever album? Do I do their most recent album and work backwards? Should you just go through an itinerary? Because I found that was a very interesting way to do Paradise Lost, because I got into Paradise Lost on Draconian Times, and at that point it's very just, you go down towards Shades of God, you go up to like 1 second, which way do you go? And if depending on which way I went, I got a very different experience. Same with Nightwish. So you're kind of almost relying on the fan scene of that particular band, because you haven't caught them early. You've come in at a much later date. So where do you start? Say with things like Iron Maiden, where do you start in their catalogue? Do you start at the beginning, and do you do Iron Maiden or Killers, or do you start with something like Fear of the Dark, or was it Senjuicy or whatever it's called? There's so much to kind of work out when you've got bands of that sort of caliber and that establishment. So let me know where I should go with Volbeat, because I really do feel like I've got a little bit of them. I've had a certain vibe. Now, if there's a whole album all kind of the same kind of chuggy riffs, I might get a little bit bored. I did that with Black Label Society recently. I was listening to a whole album Stronger Than Death, and I went through the whole album start to finish and realised by about track 6 or 7, I'm like, is that it? It's the same song all over it. Each song just had a very, very similar vibe, and on their own they stand out as singles, but when you do an album of it, is it too much? And I wonder if Volbeat's the same. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video today, please do like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.